to the Shop Chief Power Show episode 1. In this episode, we will discuss about command button editing, right? Microsoft has introduced command button editing in preview mode, right? So that we can add new command buttons in different types of command bar available in Microsoft Dynamics or Microsoft Power Apps, model-driven apps, right? So how can we add that, and how we can manipulate the visibility through formula, through Power FX? We will see that in today's episode. So let's get started. So let us say this is our model driven app, Sales Hub, right? I want to add some command buttons to this app. So I can click on this edit and click on edit in preview. When you click on edit in preview, it will open the app editor in preview mode, right? And all the links, all the entities that are part of this app will be also listed here. You can see in the screen. So this is the app, and here you will find all the navigations that are already part of this app. We have 5 areas, right, in the Sales Hub, and here you will see these are the tables and pages which are available, which are part of this app, right? So I want to add a command button to this app, right? There are 4 areas that you can choose to add your command buttons, right? To add a command button, you can go to this option and click on, so go to this option and click on any entity that are available here. I want to add a command button for account, so I can choose these 3 dots and click on edit command bar, right? If you click on edit command bar, it will open a new screen, edit command bar editor. Here it is asking 4 areas that you can use to add command buttons. First is main grid. Main grid is the main active view, or whenever you click any entity that displays the view, right? And for every selection you might have different commands. Let me go here to show you different areas. Okay, let me go to play. I'll show you here 4 areas, right? How these areas are available in your model driven app. So what is main grid? Main grid means whenever you go to your Sales Hub or any model driven app, click on a sub area which is pointing to an entity, then you will see a active view or a view is loaded, right? That is set as default. You can see here, this is the view. Now for every view there are some command buttons available here, right? And if you select, corresponding fields, corresponding buttons are hidden, some buttons are enabled, right? Now this section is called as home button. If you want to add a button here for the home grid, you can choose this one, main grid. What is the main form? Main form means whenever you open a specific form, let's say this is my account form, a single individual form, and for this form also we have a bar here at the top, command bar. Now if you want to add some command buttons on a specific form, then you can choose this main form, right? So this is the command bar. You can see here at the top there are many commands available, like activate, deactivate. It is still loading, so you have to wait. So this is the command bar, and here if you want to add new commands, you can choose that option, right? You can see here the buttons. So this is called as main form. That was called as main grid. This is a grid. What is the next one? Subgrid. Subgrid means if your account entity is used as a subgrid of any other entity. Okay, like here you can see, let me go to check if there is any subgrid is available here or not. Let me go to opportunity and show you something if it is used. Anyway, so if the subgrid is, your entity is used as a subgrid in other entity, then for subgrid also it is showing some command buttons, right? Let me show you in another app. So this is school management. Let me open entity student, right? So in this student app, you will see here below you will find a subgrid, and this is a subgrid of registered courses, and for this subgrid you will find some buttons here, right? So if you want to edit this button for this entity which is pointing to the subgrid, you can use subgrid, right? What is associated view? Associated view means whenever you click on related option for a entity and go to a related entity information, the associated view is loaded, right? And for every associated view it displays some buttons here. So to edit these buttons, associated view buttons, you have to use associated view. I think you got it, right? So 4 areas are there where you can edit your button. Let me use this grid. Okay, I want to add a button in this main grid, so click on edit. I'll show you 4 areas how to add buttons and how to manipulate the visibility. Okay, now here you can click on new command. So this is the command interface where you can click on this command to add buttons. You cannot edit these existing buttons because this is still under development. You can add new commands. Let me click on new command button. Now here the command is added. I want to add something here. Let's say I want to add main grid button, right? Here I have added. Now I can choose a icon for this button. I can choose one of them, let's say tick mark. So main grid button is added here automatically, right? I have added here and I have mentioned the label. Now for action you can use formula or you can call a JavaScript, right? For JavaScript you have to create a JavaScript web resource and call the function, and you can also pass parameter. But now I don't want to focus on JavaScript, rather I want to focus on formula. So I choose formula and click on, so the on select property of this icon will be available, button will be available here. I can write down something. Let me write down a PowerFX notify. You have clicked me. I am a grid, main grid button. Okay, so this will, whenever, my intention is whenever someone click this button, this will be notified as a notification. This will show as a notification, right? Now if you go down below, you will have a section called as visibility, right? If you select show, by default this button will available always whenever you load a main grid. But if you want to change the visibility whenever some record is selected, then you have to write down some formula, right? Let us first check this show visibility, how it looks like. Click on save and publish. Then we will set the visibility through some PowerFX. Right, now it is published. I can click on play to check. Now it will open the model driven app sales shop. And if I'll go here in the accounts, I should be able to see my new button, but it's not displaying. Let me click on Ctrl F5. Sometimes because of this refresh issue it happens, but you can press Ctrl F5 to completely refresh. You can see here guys, main grid button that is available by default whenever I loaded this. If you click this, it will show some notification. Okay, so something went wrong, please restart the app. Okay, so let me restart the app. I have written correctly, so I should expect things will go accordingly, right? Now this alert is displaying here. You have clicked me, I am a main grid button. Now the point here is, I don't want to display this button by default. Whenever someone click this row, at least one row is clicked, I want to display that button, right? So how can I do that? My requirement is whenever someone clicked some row, I want to display, right? So I have to write down some visibility formula. So click on this visibility, go to show on conditional form formula. So I have to write down the formula here. So when you want to show this button, I have to write down if at least one row is selected, I want to display it, otherwise I want to hide it. So write down if self is the button, self dot selected dot all items, I want to use a count row power fx. Count row will extract the number of rows that is selected. If count rows, self dot selected dot all items greater than equal to 0. If at least one record is selected, then it will display true, otherwise it will be false. Understand this formula. It will first check selected all items row and count the selected items, selected rows. If it is greater than 0, at least one item is selected in the grid, then it will display, otherwise it will be hidden. Now click on save and publish. So now the button will not be visible by default unless you select a single row or multiple row. Let us check how it works. Now click on play. So I have successfully updated the visibility formula. Let us check this. Now I'll go to accounts. Now it is still displaying, right? But I have to refresh this. Press Ctrl F5. I don't want to see that button by default whenever someone load account. Sometimes it is not working, right? So let me just press Ctrl F5 2-3 times. Sometimes it doesn't work. So visible if the selected item row is greater than 0. If it is not 0, then false. Let me check. One selected, it's not selected, but it should be hidden, but it's not hiding. Let me refresh this. See guys, now it is working, right? So if you do press Ctrl F5 2-3 times, then only it will work. Now it is hidden. If you click this, that should be visible. Can you see that? And now that is hidden. Visible, and if you disable, then that will be hidden. Now you can see how the visibility can be driven through selected items. Now I want to do something else. For example, I want to add a command button on the form, right? So this is the form, right? And here I want to add a command button here, and that command button should only be visible whenever this this contact method is any. Okay, that means I want to set the visibility of the command button as per the column or as per the field value. So how can I do that? Let us check. First I will go back and add a new command button. Last time I have used the main grid, now I will use main form. Click on edit. Now click on new command. So new command is added. Now click on new command. So already new command is added, right? So let me delete this. It is duplicated. So here I will rename this. Let's say form command button right. I can choose an icon as per my choice. Okay, now I want to run some formula. I want to just notify I am form button. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. For now I don't want to focus on action, right? I want to focus on visibility. So I want to show on some condition. What is the condition? Click on the show on condition from formula and write down something here. If self dot selected dot item dot, what is the field value you want to check? I want to check any, what is that, any preference or something. You check contact method, right? So if item dot contact method, so this is the, where is that contact method? Primary contact, preferred method of contact, right? If preferred method of contact, is that the same? Yes, preferred contact method. If preferred contact method is equal to preferred contact method dot any, if it is any, then it will be visible true, otherwise it will be false. You understand this? So here we are checking if preferred method of contact will be any, then it will be visible, this button will be visible, otherwise I want to hide it. Now click on save and publish. Let us check this. So this is the button which we have placed on the form level, not in the grid, main grid, so that we can check the field values for a specific record. Then we can set the true or false visibility. You can also check the status. If you want to display only for the active records, you can also check that. First let us check this, then we will change the status. Click on play. I can go to accounts and open an account. Now here the button is not displaying, right? If I'll go to details to check what is the preference method, it is any. I have kept here, if it is any then display, but still it is not displaying, right? Because it is not refreshed correctly. So press Ctrl F5 so that it will properly refreshed by clearing the cache. Okay. Now where is that button? The button is still not displaying. Press Ctrl F5. Can you see that? Now it is displaying. right? So this button is displaying because the preferred contact method is any. If I'll change to email and save it, let me close this. So I have just changed it to phone or something and click on save. Now the button will be hidden. Because the contact method, you can press Ctrl F5. So unless you refresh it, it doesn't work sometimes. Now if I go to details, I can check the contact method is phone. Now that is hidden. You see that? Like that, if you want to check the status, right? If item dot status equal to state dot, or you can define it status, right? Status dot active. Only for active accounts it will display, otherwise it will not display. Let us check 7 publish. Like that, you can manipulate the status or different fields as per your choice, and it will work accordingly, right? So you understand how to add main grid command buttons with different visibility status by either selected rows, and also we have seen that how you can add buttons on the form, and also you can manipulate the visibility according to the field value, right? Let me play this to check. I have now checked the status only to display the button on the active accounts. So this is the active account. Let me open this. So for the active accounts, it should be visible. Press Ctrl F5. Sometimes it doesn't work if you do not press Ctrl F5 2-3 times. Okay. Let's again try it. Ctrl F5. This is I am pressing 3 times Ctrl F5. Okay, but still it is not displaying, but it will work sometimes because of the refreshes. So let me check the inactive contact. I'll go to inactive accounts. There is no inactive accounts. Let me just change one account as inactive. Let me change this to inactive, and I'll go to inactive state again. Here I don't see that button. That's fine, right? If I'll press Ctrl F5, I should not get that button here. But I should get the button for active account. So if I'll go to active account, if I'll open this, I should get that button, right? The button is visible here. So you understand how to manipulate the visibility status as per the field selection and as per the row selection if you have added any button on the grid, right? On the grid selection only it will visible. Like that we can manipulate the button visibility for subgrid and also for associated views, right? If you want to add for contact associated view, you can also add it. Thanks everyone for your time for watching this video. See you next time in next episode of Subchi Power Show. Thank you.